coaches here at North, so thank you so much for joining us for our college information night. I know it's one of many in the series of parent nights, so I appreciate you guys coming out to learn a little bit more. So, the college process can seem very daunting, and there seems like a lot of parts, but we are here to help you guys, so do not stress. Our year counselors are here to help your students while you're in school and to answer any questions that you guys have as well. All right, so tonight we're going to cover what students should be doing right now, components of the application, different types of application, and deadlines. We're going to talk about a little bit of a timeline for the application process, our SACHM-specific procedures, Naviance, hopefully you've all heard that, and a little bit of the financial aid process, but I have more information about that when we get there. All right, so what should senior students be doing right now? We definitely want to have a list of colleges. I'm sorry, I just wanted to remind everybody, the website will have the slideshow starting tomorrow, so you don't have to worry about taking notes or taking pictures. It'll be on the SACHM Writers website, as well as the senior Google Classrooms for the counseling department, okay? So don't stress about that. So what they should be doing, they should be making a list of REACH, target, and safety schools. They should be submitting their recommendation questionnaires to teachers and counselors. So you want to make sure that you're giving teachers enough time to write you a quality letter. We ask that you ask teachers and counselors 10 business days, 10 school days at least prior to your deadline, so it gives them enough time. The sooner the better, because a lot of teachers do get a lot of recommendations, and you want to give them enough time to make sure that your letter is really personalized. We want to be visiting colleges and possibly doing some interviews. I always tell my students to go on the admissions tour. If you're on vacation and there's a school nearby that you're interested in, or even remotely interested in, it's always good to do the admissions tour because you get information directly from the source. We can look at it with you, we can go on Naviance and show you all the information we have, but the admissions office is going to be able to give you their first-hand direct information. And you also get a little bit of the perks of getting to see the campus, getting to see dorm rooms. You also are going to be able to put your email down and your name down, so now when you apply, they'll have you in their system already, just kind of bonus points. Should be completing applications. We'll go through the types of applications, but we should definitely be starting to fill out, if not fully completing the applications around now, so that you don't have to worry about that. Testing requirements. A lot of schools have gone test optional, so you're not required to submit your SAT and your ACT scores. If you took them and you did fantastic and you love them, by all means send them to the schools. If you are looking to take an additional SAT or ACT, there's another SAT in November and one in December, and there's another ACT coming up in December. So if you want to retake and shoot for that higher score, still have that opportunity this fall. If you are planning on playing a D1 or D2 sport, you must be signed up with the NCAA Eligibility Center. So make sure you go to, the website is at the end of this slideshow, but you can literally Google NCAA Eligibility Center. You'll create an account for D1 and D2 schools. It is a paid account. So you'll sign up, put a bunch of information in, and then you will let the counseling office know that you've signed up for the NCAA, and you need to sign a transcript request form or a transcript waiver so that you can submit your transcript to the NCAA, so that colleges or coaches can see it, okay? And then eventually we'll be making some decisions. So, components of the application. The most popular and pretty much the main application at this point is the Common App, commonapp.org. It's a nice one-stop shop where you fill out all your basic information, your name, your family information, your educational information, all in one spot. and then you add each individual college that you're applying to. Each individual college will have those questions and things like that, but this way you don't have to fill out your name however many times you're applying to different schools. And it's also nice to just have it all in one spot. Common App is for private schools, public schools. There are some schools that are not on the Common App. They prefer their own personal application, or the CUNY schools have, some of them are not on the Common App. They only use the City University of New York application. So you have to fill out where you're applying and see what the most common one is, but you can fill out multiple applications. The Common App just happens to make it easier for most schools. There is also the SUNY app. The SUNY app is like the Common App, but just for SUNY schools. Really, it doesn't matter which one you use. They are going, all the same information is on both of them, and they're all going to the same place if you're applying to those schools. So if you're applying to any schools other than SUNY, I would recommend using the Common App and just adding your SUNY school onto the Common App. So another part of the application is your transcript. So your application, the student is going to fill out on their own. They can come down, of course, to the counseling office. We can help them with it, but that is what they are going to fill out. The transcript we will send directly from the school. So the official transcript has come directly from the school, and the way we will know how and where to send it is by your student filling out a transcript request form. They sign it, we sign it, and they bring it to the counseling office. And our secretaries will process it, give them a receipt, copy of it, so that we know that we received it. And then we will send your transcripts to Naviance based on which school you've listed on your transcript request form. Okay. So if you apply, you can put in your application, but if you don't tell us that you're applying there, they will not get your transcript because we will not know that you applied there. Yes, I'll jump to that one just a second. Initial transcripts will be released soon. If you contact your counselor, they should be able to give you an unofficial copy at this point. Yeah, they should be. We started doing that PTA last week, so your student can go down and get an unofficial copy, absolutely. And in the mail soon will be that document with the credit check that you usually get. Yeah, that's in the process of emails. Testing, again, test optional. You have to see if the school or the particular program that you are applying to is test optional. Some schools may be test optional, but then a certain program that you might be applying to may require the SAT or the ACT, so just make sure those specific requirements if you are applying to like a nursing program or an engineering program, those specific programs sometimes have more stringent requirements. Essay personal statement, most students are working on that in their English classes. If they're not, they can absolutely ask their English teacher to review it with them. I know a lot of our North teachers do it with students on their free periods if they're not doing it in class. That's going to be a personal statement, exactly that. It's about them. They want the admissions officers want to hear their voice and who they are. There's a number of topics that the Common App and the SUNY app have as prompts, but really they can write about anything because the last prompt is write about something that you want to write about. So they can really write about anything as long as it's really true to them. The activities and resume. So this could be anything from a bulleted point paper with the activities that they've done outside of school to a formal resume that they have a template for in the Google Docs. Really, it's just for the teachers and the counselors to know what else they've done outside of the classroom or outside of school. But it's also on the Common App. There's an activity section where they can put up to 10 activities. So in that section, I would say prioritize the top 10 and go from there. Colleges on their side of the application, like I said, each college will have additional questions that they want answered. Some of them will have a spot that you can upload the full resume itself. So I would suggest, if you're going to do that, going into the Google Docs. Every student has Google Drive. You can go into Google Docs, type in resume, and they have templates that you can just fill out that says name, and then you delete that part for your name and all that stuff. So it makes it really easy for the kids, but it makes it look a little bit more formal. Counselor letter of recommendation. Not all schools require a counselor letter, but some do. The counselor letter is separate from the teacher letter, so if they only accept one teacher letter, the counselor letter will be separate from that, so they don't have to worry about figuring out if they want to send the counselor or the teacher. Again, the counselor letter is more kind of a confirmation of the activities that they've done, speaks to their character, things like that. The teacher letter recommendation is obviously from the teachers. Teachers that the kids have created really good relationships with, that maybe they improved really well throughout the year in that class. Really just teachers that they had good relationships with in 9th, 10th, 11th grade. Okay, testing requirements. Again, if this college that you're applying to requiring SAT or ACT, a lot of them are test optional. Some of them might require it. Some of them might give you more scholarship money if you have a certain SAT score. Some programs might require the SAT or the ACT. So really good to figure that out before you're applying. But there is a November and a December SAT coming up, and there's a December ACT if you want to take that. Again, College Board and ACT. There is an October. I'm sorry, that should say November ACT. And I believe, I'm not exactly sure about date, I'm so sorry. But it is definitely late registration right now. So if you wanted to get an ACT in sooner than December, you can go on ACT.org. It is an additional fee to have late registration, but you can still take that more recent ACT. If you have older students or you remember subject tests from when you were in school, they do not exist anymore, so you don't have to worry about them. SAT no longer offers them. The other thing about completing testing requirements, if you are sending your test scores, you must send them directly from the College Board or the ACT to the school, to the college that you're applying to. We do not have access to send your scores. So if you're sending the scores to the school, you have to go onto your account on College Board or ACT and send them directly to the college. Types of admissions. So early decision is the strictest type of admissions. There is an early deadline that the students have to get their documents in by, and you have to sign a legal document saying that if you are accepted to the school, you will attend the school. Early decision is legally binding. So if you're accepted, you're committed to attend, you must rescind all other applications from the other colleges you've applied to, and that is where you are going. Early action is non-binding. You can apply early, and the deadlines are a little bit earlier. You get your decision a little bit earlier, but you're not required to go there if you get it. Okay? Yeah?
For the early decision, you get accepted, but financial package or whatever doesn't approve. You might accept it, why don't you get there?
So the question was for our live streamers, if you are accepted and the financial aid package is not enough for an early decision school, are you still legally required to go there? The short answer is yes. I have heard of families fighting it and, figuring out a way, whether they had to put the down payment down and then rescind and lose, $1,000, $2,000, $3,000. But the short answer is pretty much yes. Again, early action, apply early, get notified earlier, no legally binding, no about that. Regular decision. There's two different types of regular decision. There's a deadline application, where you have a deadline. You must get all your documents in by that deadline, and then you will find out sometime usually in February, April, or May. So formal deadline. After that deadline, nobody will need accept any more applications, no more extra documents, anything like that, and then you get your decision later on. Then there's rolling admissions. Rolling admissions tricks a lot of our students because the deadline will look like it's like July. So they get to be like, oh, I have plenty of time. Rolling admissions, the sooner you get your documents in, the sooner they are reviewed, the sooner you will get a decision. The earlier you get your documents in, you're in a smaller applicant pool and they have more options to give placement. If you wait until April or May, your chances of getting in are dwindled because now they only have a few select spots. So if you see something like July of 2025 as a deadline, just get your documents in as soon as possible because then you'll get your decision sooner. Even though it's not considered early action, they will review it as soon as they get your stuff. By April 1st, colleges are required to notify students who have applied. By May 1st, students are required to commit to a college if they finish them. Naviance. So every one of our high schools, every one of our CECO students has a Naviance account. Naviance is a wonderful tool. It's an online account where students can do all things college and career. Specifically for college, we're going to send all of their documents through Naviance, and they are going to be able to see the progress of their documents for their applications all in Naviance. We have to connect our Naviance and our Common App accounts. That is done through Naviance, so if your student has any questions or doesn't know their password, please make sure they see their counselor so that we can get them into their account, because we do need to match those two accounts. Call it. And those are the steps to create an account. You fill out the education section, you go into Naviance, you hit match account, and it'll bring up your Common App to match it. Students can also request teacher letters of recommendation through Naviance. A lot of our teachers still like for the students to obviously come to them in person, but they do have the option to request letters through Naviance as well. And again, they can check the status of their documents submitted from the office. So there's no questioning of, oh, did they send my transcripts to Stony Brook? It's right in the Naviance account that you see that what day it was submitted. So the question was, is there a preferred Is there a preferred answer for the waiving of the FERPA? So yes, colleges do like to see that you waive your rights to read your letters of recommendation because they feel that the teachers, if you aren't going to read your letters, they feel that the teachers will write a more genuine letter. Of course, you're going to be picking teachers who are going to write you wonderful letters because you wouldn't have a teacher who's not going to write you a great letter. But the college do like to see that you are waiving your rights to read the letters. Obviously, we cannot tell you that. Naviance is also just wonderful. I realize that a lot of my students don't know the full potential of Naviance. So there is the option to search for colleges. There's a super match option where you can actually put in all different criteria and it will literally give you a list of schools, colleges that match those criteria. So that's a wonderful thing if you're really trying to figure out where you're going to be applying. You can take a career interest inventory, which actually gives you a college code. That's a psychology test that is used in the real world. And they give you characteristics and qualities of your personality based on, and then it gives you jobs and careers that align to your interests and personality. You can just explore careers. You can go into the careers tab and type in any name of a career, and it will give you the education that you need, the median salary, the salary in different states, the projected possible job outcomes in the future. You can take a learning styles questionnaire for kids to learn. Maybe they're visual learners, spatial learners, kinesthetic learners, just kind of to learn about themselves is useful. And then there's actually a Myers-Briggs type personality questionnaire on there as well. So Again, Myers-Briggs is a real personality test used in psychology, and our kids have access to a type of questionnaire just like that. And kind of the nerd in me just loves that, because they just find out more about themselves. All right, so our students, question. So who has access to the data? Once the students take the questionnaire, we can see that they completed it, but as a counselor, I don't believe that I get to see the results of it. I would have to talk to the student for them to share the results. I'm sure that the data does go into the Naviance system and is sharing with the district, but we would, like teachers and other students wouldn't have access to that. So our specific procedures. So students need to directly submit the application to the college, whether it's through the Common App, the Student App, the Community App, whatever application they use, they fill that out, they submit it directly to the college. They're also going to be responsible for the application fees, and writing their essay, as well as submitting their resume and their activity sheet if they choose to. Okay, so that's all the student is going to be doing that. On our side, the students need to request the letters and request the transcript, but we take care of sending all of that. So once they let us know where they're applying and who they asked to write their letters, the counselors from the counseling department will submit their transcript as well as their letters of recommendation from the teachers and the counselor directly to the colleges. So again, on that transcript request form, they're going to list the schools that they're applying to. They're going to also list who they asked for letters of recommendation, so that as counselors, we can make sure all the documents are in there. And if I'm missing a letter from Ms. LeBon, I know now as a counselor to reach out to Ms. LeBon and definitely remind them that there's a deadline approaching, and can we please, get the letter. Okay? Sorry, I want to remember that. And then students would be required to send the SAT or the ACT scores if they are doing them. Again, directly through their college board or ACT. Okay. For students applying to Suffolk Community College, fantastic option for a lot of our students, and they have their own application. So they have at student.suffolk.edu. They have their own application. You go to student.suffolk.edu, press apply now, and then you will create an account on the Suffolk website. Again, fill out all that information. There's no essay required. There is no letter of recommendation required. They just fill out that basic information, pay the fee, it gets submitted. Let us know that we need to send their transcript. Do that transcript request form, and then they will, in a few weeks, get a letter saying you've been accepted to Suffolk and start on how to start the registration process. Okay? Again, no essay, no letters of recommendation. The majority of their programs are rolling admission, so the sooner you get the stuff in, the sooner you're going to get a decision and be able to even make your schedule. That's where you're set on going. They will let you know about academic advising. The SAT and ACT are not required for Suffolk. And they have placement tests, but it depends on the student, so they would let you know if they require it. FAFSA, the free application for federal student aid. It's required by all institutions for financial aid. So any type of financial aid, whether it be merit-based scholarships, grants, student work programs, anything like that, loans, all have to go through the FAFSA first. You must complete the FAFSA in order to be eligible for any of those things. FAFSA rolled out a new application last year. They kept telling us December 1st, then it was December 31st, and it still wasn't rolling out. They are again revamping it and told us that it will be open sometime between today and December 1st. So I'm really hoping that they figure out the kinks this year. But again, at the end of this slideshow, I put a link that is directly to the financial aid website where you can get updates about when they are potentially opening it up. So this would be going, when should we start this process? We should be doing this actually while we're applying. So you fill out the FAFSA and it actually gives you a slot to put the schools that you're applying to, and they will send out that FAFSA document to the schools that you've applied to, so that when you are accepted, you can get a financial aid package at the same time. Yes, yeah. So things should happen simultaneously. What's that? Right, so yeah, that's another story. So I would say as soon as it's open and available, then you should be doing it. You can work on it as applications, but it's just not open or available right now. So, yes, yeah. And you can work on it and then go back to it if you don't finish it in one setting. Question on it? So they do not know when it's going to be open this year. If you've already created an account for your folder time, you should be getting emails about when it possibly opens, because you're going to use the same account information for your senior this year. You just add them onto your account. But yeah, so just keep an eye out for those. You are luckily ahead of the game because you did fill that one. We are also going to have a financial aid parent information night. They're actually going to have a Saturday morning session at East on October 19th, and they're going to have a night session here on October 21st. So there's going to be a financial aid representative from Suffolk coming in to do a whole presentation about the FAFSA and be able to answer more in-depth financial aid questions, because that is definitely their job. In addition to the FAFSA, some private schools ask for the CSS profile. That is an additional financial profile that, for some reason, some private schools will ask for. So they request additional information. It is submitted at this time as well. The CSS, I believe, is available, so if a school requires it, you can start that now. It is not free to apply. It's $25 for the initial school and then $16 for each additional school. So again, it's not every school requires it. This is not part of the free application for federal student aid. It is a separate application that only some schools look for. So make sure that you're not sending it if you don't have to send it. All right, types of financial aid. Scholarships. That is free money. Gifts, you do not have to pay that. There's merit, there's athletic, there's academic, there's talent. Some private colleges will give them for legacy or certain grades or certain SAT scores or certain anything, because private schools can give money like that. So scholarships, free money. Grants, also free money. At the federal level, it's the Pell Grant. At the state level, you have the TAP, you have the STEM, and you have the Excelsior. Those are all different grant programs through New York State. And then the colleges themselves can also give grants. And all that information will be in your financial aid package when you get your acceptance. Loans are money you have to pay back. They have parent loans, they have student loans. Again, you have to complete the FAFSA to be eligible for student loans. So even if you don't get any money from the federal government on the FAFSA, you have to have completed it, show the bank that you didn't get any money, and then they will give you a student loan. And then the last type of financial aid is work study. So again, you fill out the FAFSA, that goes to the college. The college will offer you a work study program where the student will have an on-campus job, and they will be able to earn money that way. And again, it will bring down their tuition, or it will bring down their room and board, something like that. Scholarships, I don't have to say that. Scholarships is, you can be doing scholarships now. There are a bunch of scholarship websites. I know one that's Google Classroom for North. I would imagine that these Google Classroom also have scholarship websites. Just to name a few, there's fastweb.com, there's bold.org, there is scholarships.com. All of these websites, you actually create a profile and you will get emails of scholarships sent directly to your email that you might qualify for based on what the information that you input. So those are really good. Again, they're national. Some of them will require you to click a link. Some of them will require you to write an essay. So really depends on the scholarship. So those are national scholarships. The merit-based and academic-based and athletic-based scholarships those come directly from the college. So those will come from your financial aid. A letter, when you get it, it will just list that you got an academic or merit-based scholarship. In addition, in February, we have the Sachem-specific Sachem scholarship newsletter that comes out. Those are just for Sachem students. So that's also a nice option that will come out. We also list scholarships on the Naviance website. So if you go to the Naviance website and you go to colleges and scholarships, there's actually scholarships listed on there as well as the office right now. Yeah.
So because of the FAFSA, is that determining Pell and TAP and all that?
So when you fill out the FAFSA, does that determine the Pell and the TAP? There's actually a supplemental application that once you fill out the FAFSA, it will bring you to the state financial aid part of it, because those are from New York State specifically.
So FAFSA is
Yeah, so the FAFSA is for the federal government, and then you'll be directed to different forms for the New York State. The Pell that's happening. So more information, definitely contact your school counselor, your child's school counselor. We're here to help you guys. Use us as a resource because this is what we do. We're here to help you and make sure that you feel comfortable and know what you need to know. So definitely contact your child's counselor so that we can help you. The college website and/or the application that you're using is also going to be a wealth of information. Sometimes they're a little bit hard to navigate, but again, if you are looking on there and you can't find something, the counselor usually is able to help you navigate. It does take some clicking sometimes, so don't get frustrated if you're home at 8 o'clock at night and you can't, figure it out. But it does take some navigating, and then once you get the hang of it. So, no, that's okay. We subscribe to Naviance, so that's why all of our students have a free Naviance account. So that's really why we do that, because the district subscribes to it. Yeah, so that's why we don't use this, because we use the Naviance. No, not as far as I know. I haven't used it to any extent, so I really couldn't see finish. But Naviance has the wealth of information from the school website. It also has information from Sachem students. So you can actually, in the scattergram on the admissions tab, you can actually compare your GPA and SAT score to other students from Sachem who have applied and either got accepted, denied, waitlisted, whatever it is. You don't see, obviously, their names, but you see their data, and you can kind of compare yourself and see where you would maybe fall. So that's just another added bonus of using our Naviance. Like I said, visit the campuses, research the internet, use Naviance. Again, we pay for you guys to have accounts. Use it to your full advantage. Use those 7 questionnaires that I mentioned, just so because you can and you can learn more about yourself. And then speak with college admissions officers. We have college admissions officers coming to the schools during the day. I know at North we make announcements every day. NYU is going to be here for a period today. RWU is going to be here 7th period. Come down to the guidance office if you'd like to see them. And we give students chances to come down during the period with the admissions counselors and get, more information about the school. And then these are just those helpful websites that I mentioned that will be available on the website. Again, this PowerPoint will be posted on the guidance website, the State Trip Guidance website, as well as the guidance Google Classroom that the students have access to. All right, so that's it for me. I will take questions, but I hope you found this helpful. Questions? So can it overseas, or I'll open it up to an outside, maybe a troop leader or something like that, can an outside